3, 2, 1. Gavin, we need to have a therapy session.
No.
Because I found out something about you that I never wanted to actually know.
Was this about what the thing I was doing with the mic, or was it the other thing?
No, we're talking about breakfast here.
Breakfast.
So you eat breakfast,
Yep.
but you don't eat lunch.
Yeah.
Why?
So I don't even like.
This is I'm actually judging you.
So
here.
okay. So the way that I have to like go into like the way that my I guess schedule is overall. So like I wake up really early in the morning, like around 5:30, 6 a.m.
Yeah.
Because that's my day every single day. Because I spend about an hour just to decompress, meditate, work on just like being prepared for the day. Because on a typical day for both of us, it's quite busy, and so not having that on a day to day would kill me. But so I eat breakfast really early. Like I eat it like 8 a.m., 9 a.m. if it's like one of those days.
You always text me hours before I'm awake. Hours. Absolutely hours before I would even touch my phone.
Function, and
I know. It's just so funny to me. I wake up, I get my good morning text from you, and I get my good morning text from Katie, and I'm just like, oh, I'm dating two people at once.
Hey.
I'm just kidding.
I mean, with that rainbow jacket, though.
Hey, what's up? I don't even see you wearing a shirt.
Knew it was coming.
Yep. There
I'm
it is.
wearing camo from Elene Vintage. And
I got nothing.
And so I knew it was coming. But yeah, so I eat breakfast really early. So like my lunch is still considered breakfast, but it's not really like much of anything substantial. Typically, it's just maybe like a granola protein bar. Typically, Aloha bars or plant protein bars.
You pitched me on that.
They are delicious. And so I typically have one of those, and then it's like 14, 15 grams of protein. I know, right? The voice of God said, "Is this a brand deal?" I'm like, "Yep." But so it's like 14, 15 grams of like protein, and so that lasts me until like midday, not midday, like early afternoon, around lunch or dinner time. So lunch to me has always just been like,
Okay, that's so weird because I would never expect that. My routine is completely opposite from you in that I almost never eat breakfast. If I do, it has to be something good. It has to be something not healthy for you. I usually have a muffin, a chocolate chip muffin, from like Giant. You get like those, like from the bakery. They're terrible for you.
They're really
coated
bad.
in sugar.
I mean,
but that's all I would
process.
I would never. I just don't have any appetite when I wake up. So I'll eat a large lunch and like a normal dinner.
So we are kind of opposite.
We're yin and yang.
It makes things work though.
Yeah.
Literally, the outfits that we're wearing is yin and yang.
Color and no shirt.
Jeez. Last episode, I'm going to wear no shirt and you're just going to be like, why?
It's a treat for everyone.
Devin, our producer, is just like, blue vest. I'm like, yep. All right. Challenge accepted.
There it is.
Flamboyant and ready.
That's what they say. That's what they call me back in high school.
Oh, gosh. All right. Good transition before we go down
Welcome to
the
season
deep
2,
end,
everybody.
Today we're talking about TikTok theology.
Tell me about it.
So TikTok.
Tell me some of the things that makes TikTok challenging for you.
So I don't have a TikTok.
I know you don't.
I don't. And so you're probably like, this guy doesn't know anything. But so I have two sisters, younger sisters, that use it a lot. I mean, they create them, they watch them. I mean, if they're on their phone, they're watching them. And so it becomes a theology because you're constantly studying the platform that you're watching.
Yeah.
And so to me, I've always seen it from the outside perspective. And talking like with Devin and talking with you, I've always seen it negatively, just because I've seen the effects that it's had on people. But it has a great positive effect if you use it to the way that you want it to use. Just like any platform, everywhere. If you use it to the ability that you can use it positively, then it will have a positive outcome.
Sure.
But TikTok, it has quickly become a view based, and that's literally what TikTok is. But you want to use it to extend your brand, etc. But lately, it's becoming this copy and paste of just like, we want to put this. Have you seen like the trends, like the sounds, the songs, like when Bo Burnham's Netflix show Inside came out? Literally every single TikTok was his thing, and it was an amazing show. Like, if you haven't watched it, you need to watch it, because you can't use the sound, in my opinion, if you haven't watched the show.
Yeah.
But it was an amazing thing. But everybody was using it because it was generating so much views. I mean, it was. I mean, you'd get like 100,000 likes if you would be using this popular Bo Burnham sound.
Yeah.
And so it quickly becomes this like copy paste. So I've always seen it from this outside perspective, and just I feel like I take on the old like grandpa personas, like, you kids watching the TikToks.
I'm at that point too, I think.
But like, I don't know this, but do you have TikTok?
I have a TikTok. It is not for me to post on. It's like just an account for me to like use.
Yeah.
But I use it as a pastime, because I'm not trying to grow on there at all. And so I think there's a divide of like, you know, a user versus like a creator on that platform. And for me, that's my decompression. It kind of goes along with like YouTube for me. Yeah. Of like, hey, I'm just here to watch videos. I have no reason to ever post on there.
True.
So for me, TikTok is just, okay, cool person, great. Oh, life hack, move on.
Do you find yourself being quickly lost?
Oh yeah,
TikTok,
totally.
Though?
No, yeah. I mean, that's how it's set up. It's you never know what's next, so you're just gonna keep going.
Then you get into like those. I've heard you get into like those sections of TikTok.
It's just like going down a rabbit hole on YouTube. You find yourself in conspiracy theories.
And you're just like, what am I watching?
Yeah,
I've seen some crazy things that my sisters have watched.
I can only imagine what your sisters watch.
It's crazy. If anybody knows them, they know what we're talking about.
Yeah.
But it's also translated, because last episode we talked about Instagram. Like, Instagram Reels is almost like a baby of TikTok.
Right. Because every platform copies it.
Exactly. And it literally, you will see, and I was talking with Devin when we met a couple weeks ago, actually. You literally see, like, people will put TikToks on Instagram. And that's where this whole concept of copy and paste comes in.
And you know what's cool or not cool about that is that Instagram can actually see that, like, the little logo marker, and they will instantly put the TikTok lower in their like blast, because they see the watermark, the TikTok like jumps around or whatever. And so if they see that, it instantly like gets knocked down, and they won't like share it. Not like knocked down, knocked out, but like they won't push it. Like, they won't push it.
Crazy views.
Right. I think it's just weird. Can you elaborate more on what copy and paste is, and why people would do that?
So with TikTok and any creative platform, trends are a huge thing, because that's how you get likes, that's how you get views, that's how you get comments, that's how your thing generates. I mean, you look at Charlie D'Amelio and Dixie D'Amelio. I mean, they literally would create dances, and then creatives and people on TikTok would just copy that dance to get views and get likes, because they're interpreting it differently and doing it differently. Or failing, because I find those more appealing, but that's just my opinion. But I think that TikTok has become a copy and paste, meaning that they will see something that has generated a lot of likes and a lot of views, because it's their natural incline. Like, oh, I think I can do that, or I can do that a little bit better, or I can do that differently. And so we copy it and paste. And there's that, which is how we generate and how we challenge ourselves creatively. What I'm trying to get at is more or less those that just like, I want to get the view, I want to get this concept out there, and it's just the same thing of just like, I'm literally going to take the same format, the same thing that somebody else did, and just change the quote.
Sure.
Exactly. And like, the voice of God just told us it's hopping on the trend. And so my mindset is like, you're fighting, do I copy and paste and hop on this trend, or do I try to make my own thing? And which we talked about in the last episode, then that's when it gets really a struggle, because if you're not established and you don't hop on the trend, then you cannot have the ability to create your own thing, because people are like, oh, I don't really want to see this. I want to see the next, what was that one sound that we were listening to the other day?
I don't know. I don't know what you're trying to say.
Yeah, it was just like you just hear it and everybody knows it, and you're naturally gravitating towards it.
Yeah.
Whereas like, oh, I want to watch this because I don't know what's different, but like you're just gonna scroll through regardless.
Now, do you think that this is a new concept, like hopping on trends, basically? Is this exclusive to TikTok, or has this been around in like celebrity culture or a different platform?
This has been everywhere. Like, I mean, that's just how our society works, is that we see something that's trending and we want to be that person. We want to replicate that style. We want to look that certain way. I mean, you see it even in haircuts, even in the way that we look. I mean, you see like the indie, like the soft boy, and then you go from not even just saying that, but like the way that we talk. The way that we word certain things. I mean, there's certain cultures that you can't say certain things. But then even outside of that, it's just like YouTube. Like, you'll see the thumbnails. People will copy thumbnails that boom, because they want that retention. They want that 70% retention rate that will get them those views, get them those sponsorships. And so the difficult part about it, though, is fighting that theology or embracing it. Yeah. Because eventually, if you're not getting anywhere, it's like, I just need to do this. And so you do a trend to get your videos up there. And so it's something it's a good thing, but it's also can be a very bad thing if we don't fight it. Like, if we don't embrace it fully. Because like with what we're doing on Instagram with Silo is like I think one of our videos follows a similar trend. But like we're taking it, we're not necessarily copying their exact movements and their exact things. We're taking it a little bit differently. We're taking the concept and making it something of our own. Right. And so I think that's where you find the balance and where there's that tipping point. And so would you say that, like, let's say copy and paste, is that creating?
That's a tough one. I mean, you could get into like copyright laws with that almost, of like, hey, if the Mona Lisa was there and I literally had a picture of it and like, overlaid it over something and drew over top of it, is that it is your own creation, but it's literally the same lines, same colors. That's a tough one to say. I mean, if you're going into like trends, I would say that it's so easy for you to make a small change and call it your own. Yeah. And I don't know the laws of copyright, but there has to be some reasonable amount of change or some margin that considers it same or different. There's a line there that I'm not aware where it is.
It's but hard to find it.
Yeah. It's I mean, there are people that are genuine about it, that like, oh, I stumbled upon something that I didn't know was the same. And then there are people that are intentionally diving in, hey, I'm literally hopping on the mainstream to get where I need to be. And I find that it's a struggle on where to be genuine and authentic versus, I know this is a surefire way to get me to where I want to be, and I'm just going to take the easy way. Yeah. So how, if this is a new creator, I am a painter. Tell me how I would create on TikTok to establish myself or to differentiate myself.
I think when we take in that context, I think you first have to take it in like, okay, I'm an artist, I'm a painter. There's so many different classifications. There's so many different styles of painting. You got anywhere from like good old Bob Ross, which was an amazing Netflix documentary.
That was cool.
Fabulous. We do not like Annette, so don't sue us, Annette, but that was a little bit joke. But I think that you got to figure out, okay, this is my niche. This is what I like to do. Think about like Ashlyn Pooler. I mean, she does so much, but like when she paints, you're like, that's Ashlyn.
That's iconic.
It's who she is, who she's defined as. She's not, like you said, she's not taking somebody else's design and copying it. I mean, she might take the similar concept of like, I'm going to do this drawing, I'm going to do this way, but I'm going to mimic how they presented it. And I think that's when you get more into like you're creating still.
Yeah.
But I think if you want to establish an authentic who you are and authentic brand, you need to figure out who you are as a creative first.
Let me just shout out Ashlyn really quick because she's super cool.
Yes.
Another thing is that she does like live wedding paintings, and I didn't know that was a thing for a long time. But she like literally like, boom. So like the wedding is happening, maybe like the first dance is going on, and she like painted the room already, and then paints the dance.
It's crazy.
As it's happening, paints the dance, or like paints the scene, and she just does it. And at the end of the day, she has a finished painting of their wedding day live. Like that's next level, like photography kind of stuff.
It's crazy because she's literally drawing out a short film.
Seriously. So cool. Ashlyn, amazing work. Keep it up.
But I think it brings us to a good point to kind of come to somewhat of a close, is like how, as a creative, how do we fight? How do we embrace it? Like, where is that line? Because it's so tricky, because we can sit here and be like, yeah, we don't like copy paste TikTok, but then it's like we still use it because it's going to continue to implode or explode regardless. So like, how would you, like, what would be your advice for somebody that's like, you know what, I want to try TikTok, I want to try this, like, what would that be?
Well, first step I would say is to design a website. That sounds like any other ad read, but it's really not an ad read for Squarespace or anything. But literally, if you carve out a space on the internet that is completely yours, you like literally bought this real estate on the internet, you can put whatever you want there. There is no algorithm that will push your website. There's no algorithm that will take down your website unless it has something terrible on it. But like, if you get a website, you are instantly, you like have a storefront or you have a mural in the world of art. Like if there's a street and you have a mural on it, you're going to get seen and you have a portfolio that you can show. So one is have enough pieces or experience just through trial and error to have some kind of portfolio. Step two, build a website around that, at least showcasing your portfolio. You don't have to sell anything or whatever. And then from there, TikTok, you just got to do it. You just got to say yes. You just got to say yes and do it.
Say yes.
And take inspiration from what works and then find a way to make it your own. That's very vague wording, but being able to say, this works. Like I've seen, I went down the art rabbit hole and I found that all these other painters are doing this to showcase their art. And then saying, okay, cool. Where can I add my flair? Where can I change this that doesn't fit me to fit me?
Yeah, because you don't want to, the big thing that we're trying to say is like, you don't just want to copy and paste, because then people will watch it, but they won't be invested in it.
Yeah.
And that's what you might want to be looking, if you're just looking for the views, that's fine. But if you want people to be genuinely investing in your art, you want to find your uniqueness and embrace it. And like you said, say yes.
Say yes.
Simple as that.
Yeah. Just say yes. We learned today, if we're doing a little recap, we'll do a little, I'm Vanna White. Hey, here's a recap. Point number
jacket
one.
That I'm wearing, if I'm violet, technically.
There you go.
I'm wearing white.
You are wearing white. Dang. Okay. I don't even need to do the review now. Anyway, have a good week, guys. Take it easy. We love you. Say yes to something. Don't be waiting for permission. Just do it.
It's like somebody offering you pineapple on pizza or just like cheese.
Then you say no. See you guys. Take it easy.